Hey everyone, this is Kitchen Table Rants. We're gonna do a quick DC roundup with Gotham, and then we're gonna do the Flash. We're not gonna include Arrow yet because just haven't had time to watch it.
We haven't had time to watch it yet. We're actually going to do a separate review of Arrow, Supergirl, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and you can expect that at some point this weekend. So it's coming soon. Please
Agents of Shield won't be in the Marvel or in the DC roundup.
We're going to do it by itself?
Yeah, it's not a DC show.
I mean, it's not. That shit dope though. That show's so good right now.
Yeah, we'll get all we'll cover it. We'll cover it.
Yeah. Anyway, man, let's just do this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna just quickly go through
Gotham season 2, episode 5, Scarification.
Yep.
Scarification. However you want to say it. We all pronounce things differently.
Yeah, so this episode was pretty important, mainly because now we understand Theo Galavan's motivations for trying to take Gotham over. Basically,
his family has a very long lineage in Gotham. It seems as if they built the city.
Yeah, so along with the Waynes, they were one of the 5 powerful families. They're one of the ancestors of Theo Galavan's was in love with the crown jewel of Gotham, aka the daughter of the Wayne family.
Celestia Wayne.
Celestia,
excuse me.
Celestia.
Right.
And they basically are caught in an affair, and Celestia Wayne tells them that he forced himself upon her, and then he gets his hand cut off, and the family is basically driven out of Gotham.
Classic.
Yeah, so Theo Galavan is here to get his revenge. Now, in this episode, we see some important things. Basically, Theo has given the Penguin orders to start fires in a bunch of Wayne Manor buildings.
Right.
Or sorry, Wayne Enterprises buildings. And Penguin goes out and gets these guys called the Pike Brothers to start doing this. And they were Fish Mooney loyalists, but he sent Selina, who knows them, to kind of get them to do the bidding. So they start doing this, and then in an altercation with the GCPD, one of the brothers gets shot. He basically explodes because he has a bunch of C4 on him, which causes them to force the sister.
Yeah, it wasn't
Bridget.
Really like, hey, we looked at your LinkedIn, we think your skills are qualified. They were like, hey, you're in this gang now?
They were basically like, you're going to be in this gang and we're going to kill you because you're basically our slave, a.k.a.
right.
sister.
So family's a huge part of their life.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Oh, yeah, they're family men.
Yeah, they're family people.
But she's friends with Selina, and she gets kind of caught up into this, or forced into this, and she starts lighting things on fire and basically becomes Firefly.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, you know. And do you want to finish anything else about the episode, or can I jump into the next one?
I mean, because of this, she ends up accidentally killing a cop, which sets off the GCPD in this huge manhunt, and they're going after her. And then another big thing that came out of this episode that'll lead into this week's episode was Penguin finding out Theo Galavan's motivations, and he hears the story of Celestia Wayne 200 years ago or whatever, and now he realizes why Theo is doing this and is beginning to plot against Theo. And his idea is basically to start acting really crazy and try to implant Butch into Theo Galavan's organization. And he does this by cutting off Butch's hand.
Star Wars style.
Just straight cutting it off and trying to get him to go in there and be like, yo, Theo, Penguin's gone nuts. I can't do this. I'm going to help you out instead. So that's where we're at, starting off into this week's episode, which was known as
By Fire.
By Fire.
Good episode. I have some minor complaints that I'm gonna hold to the end. I always like to start off with the strengths. But yeah, it was an interesting episode. You know, you have a lot of good scenes with Selena and Bridget. You know, you have them getting together. Bridget's finally got enough money to leave, and her brothers just show up and just kidnap her. They just kidnap her, and Selena tries to fight with them. She ends up beating up. She does a Hurricane Rana, which is a Mexican wrestling move that looks really, really cool. She does a Hurricane Rana, takes down one of them, and takes their shotgun, which is an important thing to know for later.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, the main character and focus of this is the Firefly and what's going on with that. But let's talk about some of the other stuff really quickly. So the episode starts off with Butch trying to implant himself into Theo's organization.
It looks pretty obvious. Like if you're Gallivan, it does look really obvious.
It does. I mean, he's basically telling him, "Oh, Penguin's crazy. Like, let me help you. Let me work for you." And Butch's mission is to look for Penguin's mom.
Yeah, which also seems very obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best ploy that Penguin has had.
Yeah.
But so Theo's like, "Yeah, sure." He questions him, does some stuff, takes him in.
Yeah.
Great.
You have like two other things happening here as well. You have Ben McKenzie as not commissioner, but as Gordon, still like running around. He's pretty angry that one of his teammates died, and he ends up doing something that's pretty unethical, and he starts beating up people for information.
Yep.
And his boss ends up finding out and just starts railing into him about, this is not what we do. And what was interesting in the scene between the two, and I'm talking about Michael Chiklis' character, Nathaniel, and Nathaniel says, "I've been down this road before and have paid the price for it." So I wonder what he did. He obviously ended up going too far and killing somebody, but I wonder if they were going to, get some more information on what it is that he did. I know they wouldn't just drop that line in for no reason. So I'm sure we're going to delve into his past at some point during the rest of the season 2.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly had some sort of past, and he sees himself a little bit in Gordon, I think.
Of course.
So he pushes him a little bit.
They're both former military.
Right.
Definitely similarities there.
Yep. And so while this is going on, I mean, Selena's kind of, quote-unquote, rescued Bridget, and they're hiding out, and like you mentioned, they go in. Selena like helps her go raid this basically like auction of prostitutes / slaves in this like crazy thing.
And before that happened, one important thing to note about Bridget's character is that her brothers try to enlist her into helping them out some more. Their excuse like, you can't just leave the family like that.
Right.
Bridget's response is to set them on fire and kill them.
Yeah.
Slow roast.
I mean, she flames, lights them all up, and then she goes back to free the slaves in that auction house.
Yeah, she tried to do some real Khaleesi type stuff without being ready. A weird thing about this scene with the auction is that there are a lot of thugs in the area with guns. And
I know you hated this part.
I hated this. I feel like it's not convincing if you have someone showing up with a flamethrower and there's a bunch of people around you with guns. I think the person with the flamethrower should feel a little more afraid than the people with the guns.
Hey, Selena also had a gun.
Don't even come at me with that weak shit.
Yeah, it was a little out there, but you know what? It's still not as bad as freezing a laser.
Nothing is that bad.
No.
So we'll be grateful for that much.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, they go raid this house or this auction house, and they're caught on camera, which tips off Gordon, who's trying to find.
He's just trying to avenge
Selena.
And so a good thing about this, to me, that Bridget ended up killing her brothers is that we get this like really great scene where him and Bullock go into this house where the bodies are all charred. And one of the brothers ends up still being alive, and Bullock kicks the living shit out of him. Literally kicks him until he's dead. It's awesome. He's like, Gordon freaks out. He's like, we could have used him for information. He's like, this guy's burnt up like a taquito or something like that.
Yeah,
and it was
that
like
is
a
his
fantastic line. It was a fantastic line. We need more Bullock one-liners. Like, give more
Bullock's
focus
great.
to him.
I've been a big fan of Bullock in the show.
He needs to
funny.
He needs to have more screen time. Is my point.
That is my one complaint this season is that his screen time has dropped off a little bit.
They definitely need more of him throwing out these zany lines that make me lol.
Right. So, I mean, Gordon eventually finds Selena, and Selena's obviously very hesitant towards, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And she finally tells him who Bridget is, Bridget's Firefly, and he promises her that he will help her because the rest of the cops are just going to shoot her.
Right.
So Gordon's on a mission to really trying to rein her in and you know, try to help her because he hears her past, how she's been abused, and she's not really a bad person.
Right.
But
He genuinely wants to help. But guess what happened instead of that? Bridget gets a little ambitious. She's fighting back against the Gotham police, and I think a bullet hits her gasoline tank that's fueling, you know, her weapon.
Right.
And then the car behind her explodes. The fire catches onto her suit, and she ends up getting burned alive.
Yeah, she gets lit up, literally.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Selena's pretty pissed after that. She lost one of her best friends.
yeah, Selena's not happy with Gordon. I mean, she's pretty distraught. I mean, there's a scene where she's crying at the end of this episode.
Things have not been going well with Selena. You know, just the other episode, she got punched right in the face by like a 50 to 60-year-old man.
Yeah.
Alfred punched her right in the face. This is a girl who's supposed to be like 13, right?
Yeah, she's Bruce's age.
He punched her right in the face. She just left. It was
Alfred
crazy.
doesn't care. So yeah, that was the end of the main plot, but a couple other things that are happening.
Now, let's talk about our boy, the Riddler, Edward Nygma. He over here doing crazy things right now.
Yeah, I mean, basically Nygma and Kristen, what's her
Kringle.
name? Kringle, are dating at this point, and she's really liking him. He's happy, but he has this weight on his shoulder that he's killed her ex-boyfriend.
Right.
And so, they're over for dinner, or she has him over for dinner. They end up, doing stuff. Great. Then the next scene is they're sitting in bed, and he's like, I need to tell you something. And she's like, whatever, it's going to be funny. Great. You can tell me whatever you want.
Yeah, and, let me tell you something. Like, sometimes after you get it in, you feel so relieved. You just start talking about stuff. It's like, you know what? I've already gotten this far. Let me just talk about some stuff. Bedside manner.
He opened up to her, but a little too much.
He's like, yeah, I killed your ex-boyfriend. That's not the stuff you talk about. You talk about, oh, man, this stuff happened to me before, like stuff in my life. That's the kind of stuff you talk about.
Her reaction is, you're laughing, or you're joking, right?
He's like, nah, I killed her.
No,
I killed him. Yeah, it was me.
I
did it. And then she's like, you know what? This guy hasn't really been as crazy as I thought he's been this whole time.
You know what was stupid about her, though? She just found out that this guy just killed, like, this gigantic cop, right?
Yeah.
In cold blood. And she's sitting here insulting him. Like, oh my God, you're such a weirdo. Oh my God, you're a freak. She's calling him all these names, and I'm like,
she's actually
dumb.
Yeah, she's contradicting her. She was contradicting herself earlier because she said in an episode before that she wouldn't even care if he was dead in a ditch somewhere, the ex-boyfriend.
Right.
So she's over here spouting out lies, and he over here and did what she wanted to have done, and she's over here complaining for this service that he provided her for free, and he gave her the D. She should be fine.
Yeah, I was actually expecting her to be like, really? Sweet. But instead, she starts calling him names. You do not call a murderer whose house you're stuck in names.
Yeah, I'll be like, thank you, Mr. Murderer. Thank you for all the services that you have done for me.
I need to go to the bathroom and then climb out a window or something.
I need to go to the bathroom indefinitely. Like, that's what I would do.
Like, don't start insulting the murderer while you're stuck in his house.
Because guess what happens when you do that? You get killed.
Yeah, so Nygma starts basically pleading with her. They kind of get physical, and he grabs her by the neck and accidentally chokes her.
Another character that has refused to do neck press. Another character. No character does neck press on any show ever. They always get the neck messed up. She was only getting choked for like, I watched it. She only was getting choked for like 4 seconds before she died. This girl obviously didn't swim when she was in high school or college. She couldn't hold her breath for 4 seconds.
Yeah, she got murked.
Because he wasn't that strong.
Real fast.
No neck press.
Yeah, so that was unfortunate. So now, I mean, we're seeing, which is kind of a quicker transformation of Edward Nygma into the Riddler than I thought we'd see.
Yeah, it's quick, but I want to see more of his cunning side. We haven't really seen much of that. We just know that he's like a big old crazy nerd guy that kills people.
He's nerd, he's smart, and he's witty. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see him start doing these bad things so quickly. I mean, okay, he killed the first guy, and then his like dual personality thing comes up. But I was expecting to see this relationship between him and Kristen Kringle to last a little longer, but no.
Yeah.
He got murked, he murked her instead.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Kristen Kringle.
Rest in peace. So going back a little bit to Bridget, we find out that, surprise, she's actually still alive. And they mentioned that the suit that she was wearing, I think, got grafted to her back because of the flames.
Yep.
So she's in this hospital bed being, pushed around into this section of Wayne Enterprises called Indian Hill. And Indian Hill is a sector that...
It's a part of Arkham.
It's a part of Arkham, but it seems like there's some sort of association with Wayne Enterprises. And that's where they keep all their sort of super-powered beings. And you get this, like, crazy shot of a large man who sort of looks like he's blue. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze.
Mr. Freeze is coming to Gotham, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, so we're going to have Mr. Freeze in the show soon.
I couldn't really recognize anyone else, but that's all that matters.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze is there.
Yeah.
Who cares? But just one other thing that's kind of happening. So Bruce is still training with Alfred, and he's getting restless. He's waiting for the computer to get fixed by Lucius Fox, and he's learning how to fight and do all this stuff. And at the same time, he's kind of falling in love with
Gallivan's niece?
Yeah. Something St. Cloud. Silver St. Cloud.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting...
That sounds like a made-up name.
Yeah, definitely. But what Theo Gallivan's intentions are to take down the Gotham family, whatever.
Using his niece.
Yeah, using his niece, apparently. But, he invites Bruce over for dinner with her, and they're hanging out. It's him, Tabitha, Bruce, and Silver. They're having dinner. They seem to be having a good time. Bruce is really into Silver. There's an interesting scene after the dinner where Theo comes and talks to him, and he's like, hey, Bruce, I want to let you know I've heard Sid Bunderslaw, who we know has had some nefarious going-ons with Wayne Enterprises, has disappeared.
I know that's right.
And I just want to let you know, when I become mayor, I want to help you fix Wayne Enterprises, because I know your dad was a great man despite whatever happened with Wayne Enterprises. So
manipulating children.
He's trying to manipulate Bruce, but he also knows something's going on with Wayne Enterprises, and he's trying to get in there.
Right.
So,
and he's just kind of feeding upon the sort of fascination that Bruce has with finding out more about his family.
Right.
So it's like easy prey for Gallivan.
Yeah, he falls right into it. He's eating it up.
Yeah, he is. I think one other scene we need to bring up is that Gallivan clearly and obviously he finds out that Butch is just trying to infiltrate his organization so Penguin can figure out where his mom is.
Yeah, that didn't work too well.
It didn't go well at all. So he sent in his sister. Is it Tabitha?
Yeah, it's Tabitha.
Who actually I would have loved to have been in that little torture session, but Butch kind of ends up getting his ass kicked by Tabitha.
He does, but he escapes.
Badly.
He escapes.
He does escape somehow.
He escapes, and you see him coming back to Penguin, who he's still loyal to because of his brainwashing. And he's like, hey, I've been discovered. We only have this much time to go get your mom. Let's go do this. Yeah. And the last thing you see with Penguin is him and a bunch of people arming themselves. So it looks like they're going to war.
I feel like it's a trap, though, because, if you have to listen really closely, but Gallivan says that he's going to, re-educate Butch. So I feel like he's trying to kind of rewire him and try to reprogram him, and he's leading Penguin into a trap is what I think is going to happen.
That's I the same thought crossed my mind. So we'll see if it's an actual thing or if he's going to get caught.
All in all, I think it was a pretty decent episode. The flamethrower thing really bothered me. A couple things I want to note, just really small things that are cool or not cool. No character has punched an underage person more times than Alfred. He has punched Bruce in the face repeatedly, and he has punched Selena in the face repeatedly.
Hey man,
I don't think Alfred should be around kids.
He's European. They do.
He straight up punches children in the face and doesn't give a shit. And he's over here trying to mac on Gordon's Bay.
To be fair, he didn't know.
He didn't know. Even if he did, would he care? He's Alfred. He punches children in the face.
And he's British. He's already better than Gordon.
Yeah. He punches children before he has his morning tea.
And he's also special ex-special forces. So.
Right. Another thing. So Bullock had this really great line when they were looking for Bridget. He was talking to Selena, and he's going like this. Look, ginger to ginger. Just tell me where she is.
He's talking to Ivy. He's talking to Ivy to get Selena.
Oh my goodness. That was such a good line.
Yeah, Bullock's just full
They
of
should let
funny
Bullock
lines.
run for mayor. God.
I'd vote for Bullock.
I would vote for Bullock.
Bullock for mayor. You
For
heard
sure.
it here first.
So yeah, those are my slight observations that mean nothing. I just thought it was cool.
Yeah. Should we jump into the next DC show?
Yeah, we'll be back next week with another DC roundup that'll include Gotham season 2 episode 7. But let's go ahead and jump into the Flash. Was an episode that actually didn't have Barry present at all. This episode focused on the new Firestorm, which is a character named Jackson Jefferson.
Yeah. This was an interesting episode. It kind of took another departure from the time warping a little bit.
It did, and the last episode that did that was an episode about the Cold family, and it actually was received very well by critics in the audience. And this episode continues right after the last one. You have Dr. Stein, whose body is just freaking out because it hasn't been bonded with another individual in so long. So you see these like blue flames just like come out of nowhere, and he ends up falling gravely ill. And basically, he needs to bond with someone that's compatible with him to form Firestorm, or he's gonna die soon.
Yeah, and they're basically searching for a person who's compatible. So they find two people.
I'm happy about this. You know why I'm happy about this?
Two black guys.
Yes, and you know why else I'm happy about this? Because one of the black guys has like 45,000 degrees. He's a scientist and is amazing. Yes, he turns out to not be fantastic later.
Let's get into it.
But I like that.
So there's one guy who Stein really likes. He's a scientist, Dr. Hewitt. Really smart, knows what he's doing. And
Cisco liked him.
They all liked him because he was a scientist. He was really well spoken.
Yeah.
And the other guy was...
he's a former star quarterback at a high school.
Yep.
Now working as a mechanic in a garage.
So his story was during the particle accelerator explosion, he gets injured, blows his knee out, everything. He can't play.
Life changed completely after that.
He wasn't able to go to college because he was too poor, and he couldn't play football to go to college with. So he was just kind of an unlucky dude. So he's working at this. His name is Jackson Jefferson. So they identify two of these people who they know are compatible based on since
people got hit by the blast. Yeah.
So they bring them both in, run some tests. Jefferson's like, "Nah, I'm out. I don't want to do this."
From the get-go.
And Hewitt's like, "Yeah, this is great.
I'm in." They tell him a little bit more about Firestorm, and this sort of justifies what happens to him later. But Cisco and the team tell him, "Oh, you know what? When this works out, you're gonna be able to fly." And Dr. Hewitt's like, "Great. Since I was 8, I've been wanting to fly around the world.
I'm a scientist and I know how this works, so I know this. This is me."
In. Guess what? They try to do it, doesn't work. This guy is pissed. He is furious.
Yeah, he's not happy about anything. So
Can you blame him? He was just promised that he would be able to fly.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't do that."
He was just a little irrational about it, I thought.
He was irrational, and it turns out that he has a history with being aggressive and that sort of stuff. He has charges against him,
and it turns out he does get superpowers.
He does get it. He gets superpowers. He becomes like a mini Firestorm. He's able to absorb energy from things.
Yeah, and he can shoot flames, which is pretty cool. I thought, like, you might not be able to fly, but you can shoot flames right now.
Yeah,
so
it's good enough.
Don't complain too much.
Enough. On the other side, we have more drama with Iris and Joe as well.
Can you just call her Isis?
I don't want to call her Isis, and the viewers are going to be like, "Oh, it's such an easy dig."
Yeah, but we keep accidentally calling her Isis. By mistake.
It happens.
Nothing against her character or anything, but...
Yeah. But we have the subplot where Joe introduces Iris to her mom, for the first time since she left, and Iris gives her the business.
Yeah, I mean, Iris, they set it up with the scene. Joe's, they're going through family photos from when she was a baby that Joe had never shown her before, and she's kind of happy about it. She seems happy about it, and Joe's like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" She's like, "Yeah." Next day, they go to the coffee shop. Looks like it's going to be some sort of not happy reunification, but, warm. Nope. Iris just is like, bam.
Iris got no chill at all.
She just basically tells her off.
Yeah, Iris is like, it's cool that you came back and we set up this meeting.
I don't hate you, but I hate you.
But you got to go. Go. You got to go. It was
and
great.
yeah, and she just comes out all with guns blazing and has to peace out. So
I like that. I like that scene.
yeah, it was
Like father, like daughter.
However,
like daughter, like
I
father.
still feel this subplot is just shoehorned into the show with
Yeah,
really.
I think they're trying to like give Iris something to do, and I guess this will free her up later to progress more as a character. So I'm glad they're getting this done early. They're probably just introducing her brother, which ends up being Wally West, that kind of thing.
Sure, I mean, if this is gonna be that's the only way I'm gonna see it kind of feeling. But anyways, then we find out the mom's actually dying.
Dun dun dun.
And then they meet again, and Iris is like, I didn't trust you. I thought you were lying about dying, but you're actually dying.
So now,
but you're still lying to me. And then we find out there's might be a brother, which is probably gonna be Wally West.
Black Flash, I'm ready.
So I mean, I guess that's the reason why they're doing this. This is the only reason I can think of. Yeah. I don't know how Wally West is gonna fit into the show at this point.
We'll see. I mean, we got a lot of Flashes around, a lot of people who can run fast. So
I'm afraid that it's gonna get a little too
congested.
Convoluted.
Maybe it's possible.
We'll see.
They've been handling it well so far.
Yeah, so that's where the Iris thing stands. So we'll see how that relationship pans out.
We have two other things that are happening at the same time. One thing which sounds really unbelievable, and they did a great job of making this sound like just so crazy and hard to believe, but there seems to be like a shark creature just kind of running around the city here.
Mm-hmm. And the cop, what's her name?
Cute cop love interest number 2.
Can't remember her name. Yeah, that's another thing. They show Barry a little bit in this episode, and he clearly has a thing for the new cop, Joe's partner. Mm-hmm. And she's investigating, like Eric just said, the shark creature that has been reported. But everyone's just kind of laughing it off, like, yeah,
Can I ask you something real quick? Remember how in Assault on Arkham, we were all like, oh man, this Russian guy's awesome. But the King Shark was dope too. And as soon as they said shark person, I was like, oh my goodness, King Shark is about to be all up in Flash.
I don't know.
And this is going to be great.
KG Beast, though.
Okay, KG Beast is
KG
the ghost.
Beast, though.
KG Beast cannot be topped ever. We know this as a fact.
Because the name is so stupid, but it's so great.
It's so great. No one can top KG Beast. But King Shark, bringing a shark, how are they even going to do this on a visual level? We'll talk about it a little bit later.
But yeah, so she's investigating it. Barry's like kind of helping her because he likes her, but at the same time, he's
it's
like,
also
she's
his job.
not Iris.
Yeah,
so I don't know, but he still likes her. So that's going on,
and then we have Harrison Wells from Earth 2. He ends up breaking into like another places looking for certain items. We find out that he actually broke into Team Flash's lair as well, which is funny because earlier in the season, and I guess it's just poking fun at it, they're like, oh, our security system here is crazy and no one can just come in. And since they've said that, Jake Garrick and Harrison Wells have just straight up walked right into it.
When was Garrick this episode?
I'm not sure. I guess they're gonna bring him back in pretty soon because he's been gone. I think for like what is it, 2 episodes or just 1?
Yeah, it's been. Well, no, he was in the last.
So
one.
he's gone for 1 episode. They'll probably bring him back soon.
He was like basically living at the lab now, but I guess not.
Who knows? They may have set him up at a condo somewhere.
Yeah, Motel 6.
Perhaps. If they have respect for him, something better.
Yeah, so that's going on, and that ties in back with the shark. So at the end of the episode,
it's funny because at the end of the episode, we get this nice speech. Jackson steps up and becomes Firestorm. He ends up facing his fears. He wants to progress with his life. This is another chance for him to live out his dreams. So him and Dr. Stein fuse. Dr. Stein ends up getting saved. And near the end of the episode, they fly off to learn a little bit more about how their powers work and what they can do.
They fight off Hewitt first, who's gone completely bad.
One thing about Hewitt that was hilarious to me is that they have this shot of him back at the football stadium, the same one that Jefferson got hurt at. They have a shot where Hewitt is in the middle of the football field absorbing energy from the lights. And the football players, they have a shot of the football players running away from him on the field. I'm like, y'all waited for this guy to interrupt the play, walk into the middle of the field, and start shooting fire blasts everywhere to decide that now's a good time to run? Is that what happened?
They weren't the brightest.
That's what happened.
Yeah, so Hewitt's trying to wreak havoc, and it's up to Firestorm, aka now Dr. Stein and Jackson, to go and stop them,
Yeah.
and they succeed. I mean, the Flash shows up.
With all of Firestorm's powers, he knocks him out by punching him in the face.
Yep, Barry and the new Firestorm team up, and they take him out, and it was a pretty easy fight. I mean,
It was nothing spectacular.
I'm so mad that Hewitt was so stupid that he got flame powers, and he was unhappy with that. I was like,
maybe
bruh,
they caused some sort of like
You didn't have-
malfunction mentally.
I guess, but he didn't have powers before. Now you have powers. You should be thankful for.
They definitely
something.
like warped his mind and somehow. But so near the end, Jefferson becomes Firestorm. Him and Dr. Stein fly off to learn a little bit more about their powers. And then Barry goes into this huge monologue of like, oh, Jefferson's so brave. We got all this positive action. And then it's nighttime. Barry's sort of spying on Joe's partner at the coffee shop. He's like, oh, it's so cool. And then from the shadows, you get like a 700-pound shark man just shows up out of nowhere.
And just grabs Barry.
I'm like, bruh, King Shark is up in this bitch. It is awesome. He looks so cool. This is the best CGI use of the Flash thus far. He looks awesome.
Yeah, but we're probably never gonna see him again.
We're probably never gonna see him again.
In full, at least. We'll see like
Harrison Wells plus hoodie plus plasma weapon shoots King Shark. He falls dead. I wonder what they're gonna do with the body. Probably serve him up at some sort
Is
of
he dead,
Japanese
though?
restaurant.
I don't know if he's dead.
Probably.
I hope not.
I hope
You
not.
know what he reminded me? The King Shark, or we're just gonna keep calling him King Shark, but he reminded me of a Street Shark. Does anyone remember the show Street Shark?
Sharks. Jossum.
Yep.
I have every episode on DVD.
Jossum. That's the only thing you need to know. They
I have them all on DVD. You can buy the complete DVD set,
For like
like
$3.
52 episodes, for like $6 on Amazon.
because it coined the word Jossum.
It's a great show. I have it on VHS too.
I have the action figures, or had them when I was a
had
little
the
kid.
really big one.
I had like the Hammerhead one, the main one, the blue one.
I can almost name them all. It was like, oh no, I can't. Slamoo was one.
Slamoo. He's not even a shark.
He's a whale shark.
I'm not gonna say it.
That's a shark still.
That's true. I was gonna say something else, but anyways.
One was an orca. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was Slamoo.
No, that wasn't Slamoo. Slamoo was the whale shark because he was slammed the ground and it would.
Why was Slamoo not the orca?
I don't know, man.
It's so dumb. And then the guy with the crazy dude in the yellow diaper
Oh
suit
yeah,
looking
Dr. Piranoid.
thing. Yeah, Dr. Piranha.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Anyways,
Good show.
King Shark looked like a street shark, and then he gets knocked out. I was sad. I don't think he's dead. I hope he's back.
Yeah, they will come back if they get their budget expanded by several $1 million.
But yeah, so Wells shows up, and that's basically where the episode ends.
Yeah, it's good. I'm really curious to see how that confrontation is gonna go down.
Yeah. Can we also talk about how Barry as Flash was like creeping on the cop
Yeah,
while she's like drinking her coffee, and he's just like in the window, like
full costume.
like
Yo, I don't know your name, but excuse me, miss. I was like, what is happening here?
it was just like what?
Come on, Barry.
Barry, what are you doing?
Some
This
Marvin
is
Gaye,
weird.
some Luther Vandross. I don't know. It was funny.
It was kind of weird, but yeah. So I mean, that was that episode.
The episode set up a lot. So it's setting up Wally West to show up. We're finally getting the confrontation of Harrison Wells from Earth 2 and Barry. And
He might be a good Harrison Wells.
He definitely is gonna be a good guy. I hope they bring Jake Garrick in, and then we have like a bunch of people from Earth 2. I wonder.
Zoom's still running around.
What? How crazy would it be if Garrick is actually Zoom, and Harrison Wells is the good guy? How crazy would that be?
Oh, maybe.
Who knows? I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I don't know.
That would be cool.
Yeah, so I think I'm done.
That's all I gotta say. So that was season 2, episode 3 of The Flash, I believe, 3 or 4. We'll be back soon with reviews of Supergirl, Arrow, and then after that we'll do Agents of Shield. So like, comment, reblog, share. You can find us on SoundCloud, Kitchen Table Rants. You can find us at KTR Podcast. Yep. On Twitter, you can find us on iTunes by just searching, and YouTube as well. So
we'll have some movie stuff coming out as well.
Spectre comes out next week, and Civil War trailer is coming out next week.
Comes out.
We're gonna review on that one.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm in.
Bridge of Spies, maybe if we can get that.
You saw that
Jobs.
already, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh.
I didn't go, but yeah. Anyways, a lot of stuff coming up.
Stay tuned.
Obviously, Star Wars in December.
Bruh.
I just have to name drop
I want
that.
to see Legend.
I do
really
want to see
badly.
Legend. Legend with Tom Hardy, too.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff.
A lot of stuff. We'll probably just watch Batman the animated series randomly.
I knew you were going to throw it in there
I
somehow.
threw
You
it in there.
did.
I threw it
That
in
was
there.
so sly of you to wait till the very
I
end
threw
to
it
throw
in
that
there.
in there with the closing credits, man. That was so
We
cheap.
gotta mention it.
You did. We do have to do that.
Yeah.
Every time.
But yeah, so just stay tuned. Follow us on everything Eric just mentioned.
Lazy.
Listen to us.
You didn't want to say it again, did you?
Nope.
Okay.
I did not.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Peace.
See you later.